What's up, boneheads? It's about that time again where I get on the channel to talk about some more amazing indie animation that I'm quite a fan of. The subject of today's video being the amazing digital circus. The internet is having a meltdown after the finale, so I thought it would only be right to give my personal thoughts on the show. Personally, I've really enjoyed this show for the past almost 3 years at this point, and I think Gooseworks is a very talented individual. Glitch Productions have been pioneers in the indie animation scene and have contributed a lot to this renaissance of independent art that we get to experience. However, I don't think anyone was expecting this to quickly become the biggest internet cartoon of all time, not even Gooseworks herself. This show just really benefited from having such a strong pilot and premise. It pretty much spawned a fan base instantly, for better or for worse. Much worse. Getting into the actual show itself though, when I first watched the pilot with a good friend of mine, I really enjoyed this show's art style and animation a lot, harkening back to that very early CG look from the 2000s. I still think from episode 1, the show does a very good job of introducing you to its world and its characters. And the pilot was able to set up the perfect mystery following the rest of the show as episodes were released, so it would keep us guessing and theorizing as each episode was releasing. But to be honest, I really like this show a lot more on rewatches because you start to notice little details and things that would contribute to figuring out the greater mystery of the show. And I know a lot of people were very quick to write off this show simply because it looks like something made for kids and its fan base does have a lot of younger people in it, but when you sit down and watch the show by itself, it quickly becomes a really psychological, existential nightmare for these characters. And this to me is the brilliance of the show. It's able to showcase its goofy, cartoony art style, so when creepy shit does happen on screen, it makes it all the more shocking and unsettling. It really works for me. And this is honestly my favorite thing about the show. I love its ability to go from goofy fun to existential horror. The show itself is also just really funny. I really enjoy its slapstick brand of humor, but I also really like how it's able to make jokes out of the world that it takes place in. Whether that's intentional animation errors or taking advantage of the fact that this world is literally a 90s computer game. And I cannot stress enough how good the animation is. Episode by episode, you really start to notice the jump in quality. I also think for the most part, the show does a very good job of giving the characters time to interact with each other and develop, as it's a very character-driven story. And while I wish some more characters got more screen time or more development, ultimately, I'm fine with where they're at just because the characters do get just enough across these 8 episodes. And if the show only has 8 episodes to work with, it is what it is. Personally, I've seen a lot of unfair criticism over this show and its finale, and I feel like with indie projects, we should be a little bit more lenient when it comes to constructive criticism, and I mean constructive criticism. Because Glitch Productions and the creators involved with their shows don't have the highest budgets. They literally need you to buy merch so that they can fund the art itself. And the thing with independent animation is that it's someone's idea. This is their art. This is what they want to make. So we as the audience don't really have control, or really shouldn't have that much control of how these projects actually end up going. We didn't even make it, so why should it be up to us? But sadly, these type of situations are going to keep happening for a lot of independent art, I imagine, just simply because fandom culture nowadays is so brain-rotted and parasocial, you just can't escape it. And obviously, not every person in the digital circus fandom is like this, but I really feel like we shouldn't ignore these loud minorities, and we should keep these fandoms in check. Because what if there's more independent art that comes out that is going to have to go through the same things that Gooseworks and the team went through with this show? And I'm no stranger to toxic fandoms either. Pretty much everything I talk about on this channel has some sort of toxic fandom related to it. I mean, for God's sakes, I'm a Sonic fan. With that out of the way, though, something else I really like about this show is when the art style changes, because every time an art style change happens, it always looks really good. Whether it's the anime segment or the really cool noir segment, which I really liked in the bar. I think all the style changes that this show does for its animation are really fun, and I really enjoy how expressive the characters are at all times. Getting into the actual characters themselves, let's talk about Pomni and Jax first. Pomni is the main character, and I think she's a really good protagonist. I like that you get to see her influence on the others around her, and I think she's a really fun rebel. Jax is the secondary main character of the show pretty much, and they arguably get the most development out of all of the other characters. Which I personally don't have a problem with, because the character arc that Jax goes through is one of the most bittersweet and tragic things I've ever seen in a cartoon. And Jax's character arc kind of comes full circle for the rest of the characters in the finale, which I really appreciated. I feel so bad for Gooseworks because she literally had to spell it out for so many people because of their media illiteracy, and them not being able to take away the message that the show was trying to tell. Kane is my favorite character in the entire series. He's the ringmaster of the circus itself, and he's an AI. An AI that desperately wants to be loved by humanity and just wants to create fun things for them. And I never thought a show would be able to make me feel sympathetic for an AI of all things with the times we're living in, but yeah, Digital Circus does a very good job of that. Gangle and Zooble are also great side characters with a lot of depth. I probably just won't say much about them because I can't really add anything that already hasn't been said. Kinger's actually my second favorite in the entire show. I think he's really funny, I love his design, and I like how he's the oldest member of the group. And the one who actually helped create the circus, which was pretty interesting. I also really like Ragatha, but admittedly, I wish she had a little bit more to do in the actual show. I think the entire voice cast does a great job of portraying their characters, but also bringing life to their personalities. But those are just my thoughts on the amazing Digital Circus. I think it's a really good show, and it was really fun to follow along with it these last couple years. That's all from me for now. Happy 4th of July, and I'll see you in whatever my next project ends up being. And if you're not celebrating 4th of July because you're from a different country or something like that, then just have a great day. Okay, bye now.